Capricorn, welcome to your weekly sidereal forecast for August 10th through the 16th. My name is Athen. So there's a new system I'm using now, using the actual span of the constellations like I've been doing in my personal readings, but not for these horoscopes because I didn't have a chart calculator that would calculate everyone's actual location of their sun, moon, and ascendant. I was using that Vedic chart. For those of you who used that chart, you'd see it was a Vedic interpretation. So the actual chart I use now uses the actual size of the constellation. So if you haven't already done so, do check that calculator. It's down in the description, and watch the video for that particular sign. Now, I recommend watching these videos for your ascendant sign. So if you know your time of birth, do look at your ascendant video first. But if you don't know your time of birth, the sun and moon are also very good, at least for elaborating on energies too, if you want to watch all three. But if you don't know your time of birth, that's the next best thing. Some of us lean more towards sun, some of us lean more towards moon. So it just depends on your personal chart. So watch both, and then you'll see which one's more accurate, or continue to watch both because they both show one feminine and one masculine aspect of things. So yeah, do check the description for that. If you're new to my channel, this is very different from tropical astrology, which doesn't use the actual location. So do check the link down below and find out what your ascendant, sun, and moon is, and watch that video. All right, Capricorn, so let's go ahead and see what this week has in store for you. We've got a new moon here in your 8th house of transformation, of depth, of truth, of transparency, of deeper bonds, both with ourselves, with our relationships, and pretty much any area of life. It's all about being open to change and being open to the truth. So you've already had a lot of emphasis here. You've had Mercury here. Perhaps you're thinking more about these deeper things, figuring out more about what your deeper motives are, what your deeper desires are when it goes beyond just the physical. This is the things that we can really understand, and it's very esoteric sometimes too. Maybe you're really understanding what's really going on in the world, and maybe even sharing that or feeling like it, because Jupiter here is wanting to expand and share all that information. But all of that has been squared up by your ruler Saturn. So this energy here is that there's a serious connotation, or at least patience. It's been very important with those things. And taking it one step at a time will be the continued emphasis here this week, as it has been for the past few weeks. But you're slowly growing, you're slowly expanding there. And there's certainly a future involved for you involving anything of this 8th house, which can be freeing your bonds, seeing the truth, sharing the truth, getting deeper with relationships, deeper, with yourself, and being open to change in general. So that's going to be the overall emphasis still. But I mean, the big general emphasis is that there's a lot of energy in your career right now, or at least that's where the motivation is. Your ruler is up here in the 10th house. So for now, this rest of August, Saturn is going to continue to be transiting Libra. So what I really recommend, even going into September, so what I really recommend is continue to put in that hard work, that discipline, whatever it is you're working hard at here in the 10th house, because wherever there is hard work, as you know, pays off in the long run, especially when it's your ruler Saturn. So that's the overall energy. Let's look at the beginning of the week, Monday through Wednesday. Mars is going to be sextiling up to the North Node, who's been transiting your 9th house. So here it's all about the fact that the past couple years have been for you to understand more about things like philosophy, astrology, divinity, connecting to God in a spiritual sense, like through prayer, maybe through religion or spiritual circles, things like that, connecting to gurus. Whatever it is for you, it can be very philosophical too if you're a very rational kind of person. Maybe going back to university studies, maybe doing some traveling, maybe just expanding your horizons in general. So that's not very personal, but that's where the opening has been for you, and that's where you want to certainly put in energy this early part of the week, because Mars sextiling up to that can certainly unlock this motivation. There's a lot of drive perhaps right now in the relationship or one-on-one connection side of things, which isn't the best position for Mars to be in Cancer, but it's good for you to do that, to assert yourself right now, to put in that extra energy with relationships, to be willing to open up again, all that transparent energy in relationships, because Mars does naturally is associated with that 8th house. And what you'll find is that we'll be improving your one-on-one connections. But mostly this early part, Monday through Wednesday, expand your horizons, study, philosophize, express, tap into that spirited adventure spirit, maybe even connect to nature, which for you, it's a serious thing. It's Virgo. So it's like, you take that stuff practically and real, which is good. But expand, and what you'll find is that it will be actually unlocking more of this motivation and easing up and even supporting a lot of this deeper stuff that's transforming for you right now at the moment. So that's the early part. Wednesday and Thursday, the sun will be trining up to Uranus. So Uranus is actually aspecting both the sun and the new moon on Friday. So with that, this has been where you guys have to have freedom with your self-expression. You got to be free to say what's on your mind, or to write, to communicate, to exchange, to think new and different and exciting kind of things. And it's that is facilitating a lot of this transformation and change for you. So for all of us, it's a time of seeing a new way of doing things. But for you, it's a new way of, again, communicating, new way of learning, new way of thinking about things, and really opening up your mind to new possibilities, which will then help you uncover more about this truth of life of that 8th house. Now, at that same time, Wednesday and Thursday, Mercury will be opposing up to Neptune. So perhaps there will be an uncertainty about things. And this is probably relating to either the material, financial, or your values in life, the things that are important to you, which right now isn't something that, isn't something that you can really rationally understand with Neptune in your 2nd house. And that's fine, because it's supposed to be intuitive. You're supposed to be guided by your values, listening to that intuition and seeing where it takes you. And it will take you. And when you have that faith and trust, things are unfolding in the financial and material side of things, and with your values in general. And so some things to remember there this week, because that opposition up to Mercury can be where Mercury's trying to figure it out, Mercury's trying to understand, but Neptune is saying, look, this is right now, it's a time for you to learn more about faith and trust, and it's in the area of the material and abundance side of life. And this is, again, abundance where it's being grateful, really being grateful for what you have. Friday, we have that new moon, and it's conjuncting up to Venus, so you certainly have some new beginnings relating to career, which is very nice. Also relating to the way you express yourself. I think you've been redoing or reflecting on your career and your self-expression or projects right now, which is great. And this is now new beginnings relating to that. Just be willing to keep experimenting and try new and different things, and that'll be supporting that, as well as, again, freeing up that communicative energy, the way you're seeing and thinking about things, learning about things, as well as putting in hard work with career. Then over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the sun will be conjoining up to that Venus. So a highlight there over the weekend involving that self-expression and career. Maybe a good time to work on those things, or just to have fun, actually, with Venus ruling your 5th. But again, that's reflective. And then also Saturday and Sunday, Mercury will be trining up to Pluto. So there is support coming in when you are trusting, having that faith, because Pluto in the 12th is showing you that, there's transformation, there's spiritual transformation happening very, very deep at your core level. And, it's also helping you gain more spiritual power. And you'll notice that the more detached, the more you go with the flow, and the more you have that faith, the stronger you become, the more powerful you are. And this is now where you can understand more about, true spiritual power, which is the truth. Truth is, that's what's right, is truth. And the more you express that, the more you think about that, the more you understand that, this later part of the weekend, I think it'll help you understand quite a bit, actually, about the truth of life, as I'm sure it has been with all of this activity in your 8th house. So that, again, this can be truth of what's going on in the world. It can be truth of what's going on within, what's going on in relationships, what life is about, the ebb and flows, beginnings, endings, life and death, and being okay with that. And I think you are, because Jupiter in this part of your chart is showing you that there is buoyancy, there's optimism about it, and for a good reason, because this is a very important part of life. And when we do have that non-attachment, then there is lots of beautiful things that can come in. All right, Capricorn, so have a nice week. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you'd like a personal reading, click the link down below. Thank you again for all of your support, and I'll talk to you all next time.